Yep.
What's cracking, everybody? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there. We certainly appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Yesterday, Marine Corps birthday. Say happy early birthday to the other ones. How about that? There you go. See? There you go. All right. We are broadcasting live from rumble.com. Go check us out, rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. We're also live at the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. And shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience. We always appreciate you joining us. All right, so, man, Turning Point USA. Let's go to a little event that broke out yesterday at UC Berkeley. Man, very sad, man. Bloody brawl, basically, yesterday afternoon. So the event featured Dr. Frank Turek and Rob Schneider, Rob Schneider, comedian. And it marked the end of TPUSA's tour. They're calling it This Is the Turning Point. Came about after Charlie's death. 2 months ago, okay? Just reminding everybody. So TPUSA has gone around all these campuses. They're continuing. They're carrying the torch. They're doing exactly what the vision of Charlie Kirk and his team at the time envisioned. Really, really appreciate what they're doing. Just appreciate it. I think a lot of people do. Police say the fight began around 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 our time. One man was seen leaving the scene bleeding pretty heavily from his face as agitators tried to, of course, peacefully protest, I'm joking, to disrupt the event by anything but. So the brawl happened again hours before TPUSA's final tour stop. Again, Turek was there. So a little bit about Frank Turek, Dr. Turek. He's a Christian apologist, basically. Rob Schneider over there, an actor and comedian who identifies as conservative. Just saying, he has an idea.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
crazy.
Oh yeah. Rob Schneider.
When you said the comedian, I'm like, for real?
Oh yeah. Oh, he's good to the troops too. Him and Lieutenant Dan, all those guys. Lieutenant Dan Band. You gotta like that. It's like my friend Chris Trahan. Chris Trahan Band.
Yeah.
Chris Trahan,
Chris is a good guy.
Oh, love him. All right, great attorney, too. All right, so the attack occurred again, just rattling off some facts, just to recap. Man, just 2 months. I mean, it seems like longer to me, at least, but 2 months, just 2 months from Charlie Kirk's murder, assassination, at another campus event. So UC Berkeley have seen repeated protests against conservative speakers. This is not the first event that UC Berkeley, you may recall their history is quite vibrant in that regard.
Liberal.
Trying to find the word.
Very granola.
I'm expanding.
It smells like a truck stop restroom over there in Patchouli. A lot of crystals.
Yeah. So witnesses described a violent mob outside while TPUSA staff maintained pretty calm, give it to them, and finished the event. Didn't back down, and that's what they wanted. The agitators wanted to disrupt, like children that they are. Do they have jobs? I'm just curious. I mean, I know some of them are paid agitators.
Yeah, paid. They're paid by Soros.
That is their job.
Yeah.
I wonder what their tax return looks like.
Come on, man. They can't file for their welfare if they file a tax return.
Hey, come on, man. All right, so let's take this in a little bit. 2 months after Charlie Kirk's assassination, violence again has erupted. This time on the steps of a so-called advocate of free speech university. Diversity of thought. Okay. What we're seeing is not random chaos, and we have to remember that. It is a spiritual collapse showing up as political rage. When a culture forgets God, it forgets how to disagree without destroying. See, the evil one wants to confuse and destroy. He's not the originator. He can only imitate. Dr. Frank Turek was there to share truth with students. Truth about faith, truth. Logic, moral clarity, amongst more. Rob Schneider was there to show that comedy, it doesn't have to bow down to woke fear. And comedians historically, that's why I like Bill Maher. Comedians historically was anti that. They were truly like bringing truth through in order for comedy. And I'm not a comedian by all means, but I would imagine good comedy has to have a few things. One is truth. It has to have truth. And two, it has to have vulnerability. That's why it takes such a courageous person to go up there and do that. Very vulnerable if you think about it.
I'm going to give that a shot one day.
I think you'd
stand-up comedy.
I think you'd be great. Put me in the front row. I'm your biggest fan. I think you would be great.
What if I do like Gallagher and just start smashing watermelons? You still going to be in the front?
Why not? Oh, absolutely. I'll be in the front. I'll even wear a whole white jogging suit.
Physical comedy.
Oh, yeah.
With my busted hips.
What? So, but on a serious note, you look at Schneider, you look at Turek. Man, these guys, neither of them came to fight. Like both of them and so many of the students, the young students over there and non-students that came to watch and celebrate and just discuss thoughts, they didn't come to fight. They didn't come to brawl. They didn't come for any of that stuff. They came for all the ideals that UC Berkeley claims to stand for. Yet the agitators came armed with anger, screaming about oppression. I mean, it's hard to say it. It is like hard to say that, okay? Yeah, they're crying over there about that while proving honestly what real oppression looks like. Silencing speech through violence. You couldn't beat Charlie Kirk with your ideas. You had to kill him. You can't beat Trump with your thoughts. You tried to kill him twice. Tried to put him in jail. It just goes to show you, rhinos, Democrats, historically, whatever they're claiming the other person's doing, they're the ones doing it. I mean, look how it's unfolding. But UC Berkeley, we're going to come back to UC Berkeley. We'll come back to UC Berkeley. Got a few thoughts I'd like to share with our dear audience. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. You can also catch us over there at Rumble. I want to see you. Good afternoon. Big Tib, That's Real Shaq. Question 8, the Josh Guillory Show. Bandit. I included us.
And happy Veterans Day to y'all veterans out there.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to everybody. Yes, we certainly. And thank you, Big Tib. Appreciate you. And thank you, That's Real Shaq. Thank you so much. And thank you, Bandit. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We certainly appreciate it. All right, let's go back to UC Berkeley. A brawl broke out yesterday, about 6:30 our time, over there at the University of California, Berkeley. And, it was a Turning Point USA event. And the protesters, paid agitators, whatever you want, or maybe they're not paid. I don't know. So maybe that's their thing. But a lot of violence. Brawl broke out of attacking, agitating, disrupting the Turning Point USA event. People were seen leaving bloodied up. So this is my thoughts on UC Berkeley. Okay? I mean, UC Berkeley once stood as the birthplace of freedom of speech. It once stood as like literally the beacon of diversity of thought. Come on down. Even if you don't agree with us. Free speech. It's not really free when you have to worry about going speaking on a campus and have your face all bloodied up. That's not really free speech. Now UC Berkeley, instead of being the birthplace of freedom of speech, or free speech, should I say, free speech, now it's where free speech gets beaten on the sidewalk. That transformation is moral. It's a moral transformation. It's not just a political transformation, although we have definitely seen that, but it is a moral transformation on UC Berkeley's campus and its culture and other campuses across our great country. It's what happens when truth is replaced by emotion. These are supposed to be doctors. These are supposed to be PhDs. They need to be PhEs. Philosophical emotionals.
Mm-hmm. That's something.
I'm going with it.
Let's roll.
Not for all of them, okay? There are the business guys. I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So, but yeah, it really did, though, go through its transformation. Truth has been, it really has been replaced with non-objective thought, purely emotion. The radicals have convinced themselves that shouting someone down is now philosophical thought, and that is somehow justice, and it couldn't be further from either one. It's weakness. And it's weakness cloaked with passion. And I'm being kind. I am being kind in my description. The grown-up view here is pretty simple. A civilized country can't survive if disagreement equals assault or battery. The left has spent years normalizing this kind of behavior under slogans about justice and resistance. They've seen their leaders in the Democrat Party and rhinos even encouraging not civil disobedience, like straight up crimes and assault. Openly encouraging constituents, voters, people that are already not happy, okay, and maybe preying on their emotional ties, telling them that all your problems is because of that Republican congressman over there. So when you see him in the restaurant, it's him and his family. And look, they're making all this money and you ain't making nothing. And all your pain and suffering is their fault. What do you think's going to happen? And why is it only the Democrat Party doing this? I'm not saying all Democrats are like that. Matter of fact, I am saying most Democrats are not what their leaders are leading them into. I don't believe that. I think most people are good people. And most people agree more than they disagree. And on the things that we disagree on, we should be able to disagree on them in peace. That is kind of what our country is built on. That's kind of what the universities, that's like their flag. Now they got 8,000 flags. And whatever whatever flavor of the week, that's what I'm saying, whatever flavor of the week and whatever cause of the week. Instead of teaching, we're indoctrinating. We know that. Indoctrinating on the basics. But now all this culture, though, this normalizing, this violence, normalizing physical aggression to disprove, you're not proving a point, to disprove a point, try to at least. You're not going to, you're just going to try to silence it. And that's why I'm glad the event went on. But now we see the results of that culture. Now we see the consequences of their choices. I'm not going to say our choices. It's not collectively as a society, even Democrats. It's just the few. They happen to camp in Democrat land, okay? They're just the fringy. But we see the results. Blood on a sidewalk because someone dared to think differently than they did, or differently than the talking points that they've been handed, perhaps paid to say. We see the results. When adults reward tantrums with attention, society stops maturing. We actually stop growing. We go backwards. These people that are so enlightened, you'd figure they'd know that. But we have something lacking in our universities. And we can do better. Apparently, governors have a lot of authority. Did y'all know that? About, picking people that are in charge in universities?
Well,
maybe they would, replicate the values of its constituents, which in Louisiana seem to be morally right. The constituents. We the people. So you would think that hopefully, and that's why we got to pray for our governor. I'm not joking. Pray for him to appoint people that have a good moral compass. You want to change the culture? Change who's in charge. It changes immediately. Immediately. It feels different. But we see the results of all of that thinking, of all of that ideology. And when you're looking on the left, who are your leaders? And what are they saying? I mean, I'm telling you, man, on the Democrat side, really, who are you pulling for? Fetterman's the only one I think you got that has a shot, and that a shot at reason. I mean, remember, he is very much a Democrat. We're going to disagree a lot of the times. However, I'll work with anybody that comes in good faith that doesn't violate my values. And if everybody in Congress would just do the same. Actually, if just a majority would do the same and 60 senators... If just we don't even need all of Congress to do that. We don't even need both chambers fully 100%. We just need 60 in the Senate and a majority in the House. But let's go back to UC Berkeley. There is a difference. Conservatives don't need violence because truth doesn't need force. Truth will seep through whatever armor us humans will put at it. It's just stronger. Our movement stands on faith. It stands on facts, and it stands on freedom. And we're going to talk about that when we get back and much, much more. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live on rumble.com. Let me see you over there at Rumble. Look up the Josh Guillory Show, also broadcasting live from KPEL, the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana, and broadcasting on KLFY Plus. Shout out to our viewers over there. We certainly appreciate you guys. Phone lines are open, 232-1542, 844-766-6607. Man, how you feeling out there? How are you feeling out there? What's your thoughts on all this stuff I'm talking about? You know, culture, this war. What about spiritual war? What do you think about all that? Am I off on that? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I don't think I am, and I don't think a lot of people think I am. But here's the deal with UC Berkeley, the movement, truth, things like that. We don't, again, I'm gonna say what I said earlier. We as conservatives, we don't need violence because truth, again, does not need a shield. It will find its way. We stand on faith. We stand on facts. We stand on freedom. We stand on the government's not the answer. We stand on let local governments lead. Get the heck out of the way. If you got some kind of liberal government in San Francisco locally, fine. Because I'm telling you, that liberal government is not going to mess up the basics like it is under this federal dependency we have going on right now. Because if that mayor is not paving the roads, for the most part, over time, they're going to get an earful when they go to the grocery store. I used to love it, by the way. I'm serious. I asked as much as I could about the constituent, just to find out who they are.
What, you mean going to the grocery store?
Well, that part I didn't care for too much, unless Jamie was with me. I should say me going with her. She would be fussing at me right now if I explained it like that. Well, let's go back to this message, okay? Because it's important. So as conservatives, you know, we're talking about the birthplace of free speech on campus, UC Berkeley. But as conservatives, we believe in the Constitution. Everybody should that's in America. We don't believe in cancellation. If you want to go and talk about all the woke policies that you think America would be better at being under, more power to you, buddy. Happy to enjoy the free speech. Happy to disagree with you probably on a lot of that stuff, but happy to try to find common ground too. We believe in persuasion, not intimidation. We like truth to lead the way. The conservative message builds communities. It doesn't burn them. And that's why the left fears it, because they can't control it. And that is the tool of centralized government, of a few are privileged to know and to do and to whatever, but it's all about control. That's what communism is, that's what socialism is, and that is where the Democrat leadership is taking that party, and if in charge, takes the country. And I think many Democrats are looking at their leadership and saying, we either need new leadership or I'm just not a Democrat anymore. And I don't know where you're going, because there are plenty of people asking for new leadership, but it's factioned. You have one group that wants to go the AOC Bernie Sanders route. You have the other group that wants to go back to the old school Democrat route. Now, neither route abandons their nature of being a slave holder. Different slaves, same slave master. Different cloak. It's all about control. But Charlie Kirk's vision, thankfully, Charlie Kirk's vision is still alive. It didn't die with him. It's alive in every single one of those young people at UC Berkeley, every single person that's middle-aged and elderly that is looking to this movement of peace. It's not just about being a conservative and our conservative principles and getting back to the Constitution. that's a majority of it. But there's a large part that's bigger than that. And it's that we should be able to communicate our ideas without having fear of anything that America stands for and our universities should stand for. Is that I can say what I need to say, you can say what you need to say, and neither one of us have to fear that we're going to go punch each other in the face or something. Or worse. But Charlie Kirk's vision is alive, and I appreciate that. And especially the guys that walked into that event last night after that, because they didn't have to. They didn't have to. But my friends, this is spiritual warfare. Like, we can't, like, I'm not trying to be corny, not trying to, rile people up, because I'm really not. But this is spiritual warfare. I'm just telling you truth, okay? I am just telling truth. And they're standing firm over there at TPUSA. But courage anchored in truth always outlasts chaos rooted in lies. Let's go to the phone lines. Sean, my friend Sean, bring some truth here, my friend. What you got, baby?
Hey, my mentor, when he was alive, used to tell me, why try to outshout someone you can outthink?
Man.
And I think that's what happens a lot with the left, because they can never make a point, but they're going to yell and yell and yell. And, you always hear, oh, there are so many reasons so-and-so is a fascist. Okay, give me one, just your best one. And they can't articulate anything. And Charlie Kirk, when you want to talk about Charlie Kirk, he said something when he went to Oxford and Cambridge. He says, these young people are educated, but they're not wise. And there's a big difference in that.
I agree, Sean. Hey, man, that's well said, well referenced. If you haven't had the opportunity to go and see Charlie Kirk's debates in Oxford specifically, man, just
go watch the recordings.
Yeah, the record. Yeah, and look, spirited debate on the left and with Charlie, and but
always with kindness and with compassion and with seeking to understand. Yep. And that's very important. People who seek to understand other people. We don't have enough of that.
Right. Oh, totally. Totally. And for that, he was killed.
Yep.
And it was for that.
Just let's
talk
about it. Let's talk about it. No, we'd rather just shoot you in there.
Oh, yeah.
Strange days, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But, hey, look, sad situation over there. Very sad, but very optimistic, too. It shows a lot of optimism that we're not intimidated by any of that crap. And you shouldn't be. You got to live your life. Got to live your life, can't live in fear. All right, so the House, let's switch gears. The House, the United States House of Representatives, Congress. They may vote tomorrow to open up our government.
They said a little committee might actually meet tonight to go over the bill.
Not committee?
For the full House, but a committee.
A committee, yes.
First step towards the task force.
That I am a bill. How come they don't talk about committee and subcommittee in subcommittee politics when that cartoon was written?
You know why?
Because it didn't exist then, probably.
God, now there's a committee? That's the last step before a task force.
That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Or a... Come on.
Blue ribbon panel. A commission, if you were.
Yes.
A few of my favorite things.
Oh. All right. So let's take a little break.
Before we go to break, okay. I have an idea. We ought to do how Oprah does her favorite things. We ought to come up with that in the next few days. The Guillory's favorite things, and it can all be these outlandish Democrat initiatives.
Wait, what now? What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's just like a little special, little Josh's favorite things, and we can talk about all the great things that, like Obamacare.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, well, hey, tell me when I'm invited. I have a lot of thoughts on those topics.
All right, I'll let you know.
Yes. All right, guys, stick around. Appreciate it. And then send Jamie some ideas. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We're broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Check us out. You can also go to my X page, formerly known as, what is it called? Twitter. All right, at Josh Guillory USA. And shout out to our KLFY Plus viewing audience.
Y'all could go to my X's page, but I don't think there's nothing on there y'all want to see.
Oh, I want to see it. I like it.
Oh, you said X page. You talking about Twitter? I thought you meant your X's page.
That's a common mistake.
Gotcha.
That's a common mistake.
Y'all talking about my ex-wife. Sorry. I got scared.
All right, so guys, the House is supposed to vote on the resolution to reopen the bill to open the government, reopen the government. Remember, the House passed a clean bill, went over to the Senate in a compromise. They added a few little things, but didn't give the concessions of the whole illegal immigration thing and all that stuff. I'm sure there were some concessions we don't know about that would make us sick, and we'll find out about later. But for the most part, I think it stayed intact because they got a vote on Obamacare coming in December, which is the votes needed. And I hope when that vote occurs that the Republican Party, the House and Senate Republicans, the congressional Republicans, have a replacement, or at least have a plan to address the situation and cut some spending to offset costs. You have a duty at this point. You can't leave the most vulnerable left out to dry. You cannot do that. Not when you can cut wasteful spending. Now, I have an idea.
Uh-oh.
I know, now it's a stopgap, but it's a good one. I know where we can find $2.1 trillion. Y'all know where?
Joni
Ernst from Iowa.
Ernst.
Yes, Senator Joni Ernst, who the good idea fairy slapped her across the forehead and found $2.1 trillion in cuts and wasteful spending, got all the red meat talking points. I'm standing up to a Biden-era COVID, blah, 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 blah. It sounded great. You know what would sound really great?
$2,100 for all these free plugs we're giving her?
Maybe that, and I am a bill. Come on Capitol Hill. Now, y'all know what I'm talking. Drop the bill.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Come on, Joni. Senator Ernst, who's welcome on the show. I know you're looking. I know you're watching.
Who's going to vote for that on the Democrat side? Who's going to pass that bill?
Budget reconciliation. You don't need 60 votes. It's not because the Republicans don't want to do it right now. My party is choosing not to. And it aggravates me because we vote on change on this. Actually, no, we're just asking you to do what you say you were going to do. We just want you to do what we voted for you to do. And it's not hard, man. It is, boy, it's so easy. It would be easier at the federal government because our founders gave us that path. You don't even have to rewrite the plan. Now you need to find a responsible way over probably 50 years to get us there. You can't just change it, but you can have some immediate wins fiscally at the national level by just tweaking a few little things. And the sad part about all this is you could tweak it enough where the Democrat Party, all these little programs that they're pushing, you could actually probably pay for it if you took out the bloat in the federal government. How much fraud, waste, and abuse? It's not just talking points. It's like a real thing. I saw the report for 2024, fiscal 24. It was like $500 billion. That's crazy. You think it would be now if all those programs and all that bloat was handled at the local level, collectively, do we really think it would be $500 billion? Heck no. That council would notice it quickly. That CFO would notice it quickly. A whole bunch of eyes on target would notice it very, very, very quickly. But that means Washington would have to give up control. And that's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to be harder to achieve with no term limits. Now, you can disagree. I have one of my closest friends just disagrees with me on that. Oh, it's at the voting booth. And no, it's stability. Man, no, it breeds the bad stuff about government. It makes people complacent. It makes people not hungry. It makes people. No, I'm serious. Even the representatives, the senators, the people in the executive branch. You can get burnt out. You can have different motives. You think Joe Biden left Washington the same way he came in? Do you think Nancy Pelosi is going to leave Washington? Well, we know she ain't going to leave financially the same.
$80 million richer, boy.
Or her husband, boy. He needs to. Can he be my stockbroker?
Look.
Hey, does he take. Well, I'm such a fool. Is he taking clients?
Probably.
I'm joking. I only want it legal, though. That's the problem. See, I'd have to have some. Yeah, and actually, I don't want him to be mine.
Hey, I got an idea for you to alleviate the disappointment you're feeling.
Okay.
Like, if you're not a member of any party, well, then they can't disappoint you. And I think a lot of you were right. You've said this many times. The founding fathers never intended for us to have parties. And I think with those parties comes a responsibility. Almost we get taken advantage of. We get taken for granted. They assume we're going to support them, and we don't.
Yeah, I hear you. But I will say this. There's one difference in the parties. And the Republican Party, and you have to have strengths in numbers, okay? And that's a very valid point you're saying. But the Republican Party seems to be standing for what our country's founded on, for the most part. Now, when they get elected, not all, but for lack of central government, okay? More individualized government, more local government, states control more of the issues. And I can go on and on and on, and definitely not taking on social causes. The Republican Party is fighting against all that. So I think there's a difference, and I think there's strength in numbers. And right now, the Democrat Party is a factioned party with no true identity. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back, and I can't wait. Don't go anywhere.
hour brought to you by Glenn's Towing and Recovery, 989-0510, 989 a nickel and a dime. Boy, do we have a lot to go through. We've got an accident, no injuries reported. 1,000 blocks by Youngsville. We've got a minor accident, the 1900 block of Vero School Road. We've got an accident, no injuries reported. Last Quarter Drive at Big Lake Drive in Youngsville. We've got a minor accident, North-South Park Road. We've got a minor accident, West Lewis Street at Stevens. We've got a hit and run, Castile Avenue, the 100 block. We've got a minor accident, 900 block of W. Broussard Road. We've got an accident with unknown injuries, the 100 block of East Boston Park Road. We've got a minor accident, 2300 block of College Saloon Road, and a minor accident southwest of Angela. Taking a look at the major thoroughfares, everything looking smooth right now. I-10 clear all the way to Lake Charles, also all the way to Baton Rouge, and I-49 looking for it. If you see any issues, give us a call, 337-232-1542 in the Cape Town News hotline, or you can send us a text message free of charge using the app chat feature in the Cape Town News. And get out. Remember, traffic brought to you by Glenn's Towing and Recovery, 989-0510, 989 a nickel and a dime. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show kicks off right after this. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. I remain your very grateful host, and in studio with me still, my main man, Jamie Angel. Hey, Robbie.
Yep, you there.
It's hot in here.
Yes, this producer over there is trying to sweat me out.
To be fair, it was freezing in here. They had the air conditioner on. It was like 65 when I got here, so I cranked up the heat, and it said it only went up. Yeah, but it went up to 68. I didn't think it was going to get up to 74 in here.
You always put a blanket on?
Smart thermostats, man. I like the old
jacket?
school.
Have to make us suffer, us hot-natured folks.
At least we're not going to Harvard.
Oh, Harvard. Hey, and I gave Harvard twice this week. We talk about them.
You did. You said nice things about
I
it.
did, and
Well.
I'm gonna say nice things today.
Okay. Well.
I am. I'm gonna say nice things today. All right, so Harvard, and look, I'm looking at an article. It's Fox News. If you want to Google this, it's by Hannah Panrick. She did a pretty good job. So it's about a Harvard psychology professor, Mr. Steven Pinker. He told CBS's 60 Minutes there's, quote, a grain of truth to President Trump calling Harvard a liberal mess. All right. Now, Pinker said Harvard has gone too far in silencing dissent and that the university needs more voices on the right. What did we just talk about in hour number 1? He pointed to the shaming and the cancellation or canceling of people who express controversial opinions, which, crazy enough, they're not controversial to most of America, but they are very and highly controversial to university elites. But we're going to meet him where he's at, okay? Because he's doing good. Professor, Harvard professor, you are doing good. All right. So, but here's the deal. He pointed out all this shaming, all this canceling of people, they disagree. Well, including former Harvard professor Carol Hooven, who lost her job after saying there are 2 sexes. Literally lost her job over there for saying there are male and female only.
For saying fact?
Yes, for saying fact. And here's my question. Doesn't Harvard have, the top medical school? Isn't Harvard Medical School?
One of them.
But it's one of the top, right? So, what do they say about gender? Do they go against the DSM? Well, that's different. That's gender dysphoria. But do they go against common sense and all of humanity?
Oh, they're probably over
and
there.
Facts and truth.
Probably over there trying to lab create a third.
Man, I don't know. I think the more they hear their counterparts over there, they're like, please get us out of politics. COVID was horrible. We just want to be scientists. I really do. I think a large part of them do believe that. But there are some. Like Dr. Fauci, he's never been political.
Dr. Fauci should be in jail right now.
Oh. All right, so earlier this year, the Trump administration tried cutting the $2.2 billion, remember that? That's the federal funding to Harvard, over anti-Semitism failures. Though a judge temporarily blocked that one, being president, until that judge is overturned, like all the other ones. But anyway, or most of them, I take that back. But let's go over a few key facts here. It's worth mentioning again. Professor Steven Pinker admitted Trump's critique of Harvard had a grain of truth. That's important. Pinker said Harvard has punished people for expressing controversial views. Just covered that. He called for more right-leaning voices on the college campus. Not just Harvard, but across the spectrum. But he was specifically talking about Harvard for the most part. But Harvard lost former Professor Carol Hooven. You may remember, we just covered that too, after she said there were 2 sexes. That was too much for Harvard to identify truth that there are only boys and girls. There are males and females. And that pushed them over the edge. So the Trump administration, just trying to stay true to form, tried to cut a little bit of funding over there, failing to address anti-Semitism, as you may recall, to the river, to the sea. Those guys don't know what river, they don't know what sea, they don't know what cause they're fighting for. And please go bring your ideology to Hamas and the Palestinian cause and all that stuff. Let me see how it goes. Let's see if you still have your tongues, much less your head, after you talk the way that you talk here. You want to talk about your feelings and your thoughts? I'm just saying, thoughts and feelings, they got some too.
So you're telling me that saying that there's 2 sexes is controversial?
To Harvard?
But all of these crazy professors
That's what they said.
pushing this critical race theory.
Hey,
That's not.
Hey, racist.
Well, I guess I am.
You can't. You're white. You can't even say that. What?
I am befuddled.
All right, so got a few thoughts on this. This moment, I appreciate it. An admission of fact, an admission of truth by an otherwise liberal professor. And I think it's a sign that truth is finding its way a little bit, possibly, maybe, back into its way of academia. It's possible. We're building on what we built on this earlier in the show. When a man like Mr. Pinker, when Professor Steven Pinker says it, okay? A lifelong liberal, doesn't hide from it, an atheist, Harvard icon, like he is a Harvard man, all right? If they have him, he's it.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Well, when he admits there's a grain of truth in Trump's criticism, that's like seismic shift. That's a seismic impact. But it's not negativity. It's just smart people finally waking up a little bit. And the reason why this story caught my attention so much is I want to give praise here. I want to say good job. I love it when smart people act smart. And I know that sounds like I'm being an arrogant prick right there when I say that. That's not my intention. But one of the most dangerous things in the whole world is a smart person acting dumb. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe a dumb. Okay, I'm just going to be quiet. All right, guys, stick around. Be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Acadiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Let me see over there, Rumble. Thanks, Robert D. Benoit. Appreciate you. Kind message there. Rumble.com, look up the Josh Guillory Show. You can also go to my X page, which is at Josh Guillory USA, and you can also see the show live. So we certainly want to see you there. All righty, guys. Shout out to our KLFY Plus audience as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Billy in Church Point.
What up,
Happy
Billy?
Veterans Day to you too, bud.
Hey, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks to all the folks and to everybody that messaged.
And Robert, you can be my stockbroker, man. And Josh's.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Count me in. Count me in. All right, so let's go back to Harvard. I got some kind things for these guys, at least this professor. So universities like Harvard, you know, back like what we talked about UC Berkeley in the first hour, used to be these like beacons of free thought. Used to be these institutions that it was safe. You want to talk about safe space? It was safe to be different, delivering your ideas in a respectful way. There was appreciation for professionalism in whatever it is that you do, whatever your profession is. Be the best you can be. That's why colleges didn't accept everybody until the government got more involved. When the government started paying, oh yeah, everybody needs a college degree. Man, if everybody's paying, listen to me. If everybody paid my clients' bills, we would have work everybody would need a lawyer. I mean, come on, man. I'm just saying, because there's a lot of demand out there. But for years and years and years and years and years, some of these guys more than centuries, some of these guys can say more than multiple centuries. All of it. Freedom of thought, freedom of ideas, diversity. That's great. Diversity of your minds. Debate was the whole point. Debate with facts, with reason and logic. That's what we want our scholars to be doing today. And a lot of them do want to do that. I would argue, having taught at a university, I would argue that most of them do. Most do have that passion. But there's enough of them that don't and that carry the battle flag. What if you don't think every professor has their own bias? You don't think every professor has their own thoughts? What if every professor just infused their ideology into their curriculum? I mean, that would be crazy. That would be absolutely absurd. I used to love teaching. I love teaching. Love teaching the law because that was where I could say, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? And we get like 5 or 6 different opinions on one situation. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Great experience that I'm blessed to have had. And I think that other people want it too. And I believe most professors want that. I really do. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm eternally optimistic. But I'm choosing to believe that. And I feel like I have reason to. But the left has turned these schools into something that it was never intended to be. It's turned these schools into echo chambers where feelings and emotions and they matter more than facts. They matter more than objectivity. They matter more than even fairness of process. Scary. We're speaking basic biology. The boys and girls, male and female. It's just all
X
of
and
humanity. Yeah, scientists.
Alpha and Omega. Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
So we're speaking basic biology, okay? Boys and girls, males, females. Where truth, like that can get your jobs lost. Where truth became now all of a sudden offensive. If you speak truth, you're now a fascist. You're now this or that. It's offensive. And look, the people are tired of it. Parents are tired of it. Students are tired of it. For the most part. I don't know. I think for the most part, students don't care about it. They don't, for the most part. Otherwise, everybody on campus would be there. Most of the time, these left radicals, they don't even go to school there. But Democrats, independents, conservatives, I think that they're all starting to see. They're all starting to see the same thing, that the loudest activists have replaced scholars with enforcers. They indoctrinate, and then they send out their own little mob of shame. Their own mob. And if that doesn't work, hey, man, can't beat them in thought. Can't beat them in bullying them. Violence. You want to talk about fascism? Go read on it. You're saying words you don't mean because you don't know. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what you're saying to understand it. I know you're enlightened and all, and you see things that we don't see, but really, please, we should have a consensus on the understanding and definition of words. Otherwise, we cannot accurately communicate as a society. It's kind of like a language thing. I didn't create the words or the rules. You feel me on that? You know what I'm saying? So go read what fascism is before you start throwing that out there. And again, back to Harvard. If we're honest about it, this ain't even really about Trump. This ain't even real. It's about truth. And finally, an academic at least gives us hope. At least gives us a little hope that it's there. But Harvard's fall from grace didn't happen because of one president's policies. This culture is way before Trump was a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, or Republican, or whatever. They liked him when he was a Democrat. They liked him then. It happened this fall. It happened because elites decided censorship was safer than competition of ideas. Those who were mighty chose to enforce rather than to welcome. And that is a big shift from what these institutions were created to do, encourage thought. Trump's decisions to withhold billions from schools, ignoring anti-Semitism, it's far from vengeance. It's way more than accountability. It's common sense. If you can't stand up for the vulnerable on your campus, you should not get tax-funded dollars. What's the big deal? How is that hard to understand? Most people get it. Most Democrats get it. But the leadership in that party, for whatever reason, well, I know why. Control and power. It's power. They use control to get it. But Professor Hooven, Carol Hooven, she told Fox News the facts. There are two sexes, male and female. That's it. And for saying that, for teaching science, follow the science. Well, all of the science and the history of science says there are two genders. Tell me I'm wrong. Follow the science, people? No, I'm saying like they are the follow the science people, meaning like follow the science. Then follow the science people, follow the science, comma, people. All right, we'll be right back.
Follow that.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. Still broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble. Go check us out. Rumble.com, man. You got the app, you got the chat, you got the view. You can see old archived podcasts. It's wonderful.
You can see my mustache evolution.
Oh.
You can see my hair evolution.
And that would be on a Friday. I think it was 2 Fridays ago. You definitely, if you have not treated yourself to that.
I got a lot of propositions that day. It was Halloween. A lot of people.
Oh, I know one thing though. That mustache was gone before Samantha saw him.
A lot of jokes about handlebar rides or something. I don't know.
So, but I got to tell you,
it was mostly Martha Jean.
Oh, she's out of control.
She's disgusting.
She's unreal. So, but you pulled it off.
I tried.
No, man, you rocked it. I should have got you some glasses. But
not many looks I can pull off, but the
you can pull that one off.
The crackhead-looking biker is one of them.
That's one way to describe it. All right, let's go.
Telephones.
Let's go to Mr. Bobby. What's up, Bobby?
Crack smoking biker. I must not have any teeth.
Oh, I have all my teeth.
That was his costume.
Crack smoking biker. That you get dehydrated with all that baking soda. No, just tuning in the last 20 minutes talking about schools.
Yeah.
I was watching a graduation class at West Point, and I'm not easily impressed, but I was impressed. I see a lot of these candidates coming out of there who's going to be commanders in the next, I'd say, 15 to 20 years. I notice the majority of them are coming out of there with engineering degrees, civil, electrical, mechanical.
Well, that's at West Point. So West Point, most of the guys graduate with engineering degrees. It's a science.
Yeah.
Or something. It's limited in the curriculum.
Right. But anyway, they had a president talking about there, and he's right. Warfare has completely changed with the drones. Something you don't hear coming.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're talking about his speech
like,
at
that's what's hitting them. That's what they're using them, hitting them narco boats with. Probably using a grenade launcher, I guess, on a drone. Huh?
Well, they use an F-35s, I think, for those.
Don't know.
No, they've used a couple of drones.
Huh?
I just saw the video footage like everybody else. Really?
Yeah, not off a flat top. I think the Coast Guard has gotten beefed up with new equipment.
Oh, I would imagine. All right, we got to go on to Bo, Mr. Bobby. Hey, I missed a call on some of those strikes, so I must, I had to sit those out. So they had the Secretary of War had to come in. All right, Bo knows what's going on. What's up, Bo?
Hey, how y'all doing? Enjoying the show?
Man, thank you, brother.
I just want to comment. You mentioned the fact that whatever's going on at Harvard started before Trump was a recognized figure in politics of any real power. There was 1987. There was a book by a man named Alan Bloom called The Closing of the American Mind. It's dated. It's very much from a different point of view than most people around today would have, or anybody ever would have had. But it's his story as a professor seeing the elite universities of the United States ceasing to connect to what he considers to be the vital roots of Western civilized academic culture. And the truth is, he doesn't go into all this as much. I also spent a lot of time in graduate schools and professional schools, and I have a degree or two myself. But he sees that from a certain point of view. I'm going to go a little further. What's going on with these programs, this diversity, radical race theory, social theory, and all of these things is it's a religion, and it's being taught in the way that responsible universities used to be. Protestantism was at Yale and Harvard and all these. There were great Protestant traditions there. They competed with the great Catholic universities like the Louvain. They competed with the warrior tradition that informed the military academies. They competed with the Jewish thought that informed the yeshiva. And all of these schools excluded the kinds of people who were fundamentalist fanatics and wouldn't allow their students to think with their religion, but only boxed in by it. And they've become that kind of fundamentalist bias institution. Not totally, not everybody, not all the time, but to a remarkable degree. And that ideology radiates through every public institution, every private institution that has to do business with the great elite universities of the Northeast primarily, the Ivy League, and then some places like Stanford that are almost at their level. That's the truth. It is a religion that is co-opted there.
Thank you so much, Bo. I really appreciate that, man. We had to move on, but I was listening. I love that. All right, let's go to Renee. What's up, Renee?
Hey, something to think about this diversity stuff. When black folks on the rock stars of diversity and the Chinese moving or the Mexicans, does that mean they're going to have a 100 step for them to do all kind of nasty things to them and be unfair to them? I thought diversity, so say it sounds good, it's supposed to stop animosity and give people freedom, but it might backfire royally and be worse, just as bad as in the past, worse.
Well, all right, Renee. Certainly appreciate that, my friend. So let's go on to another little story here. Joe Cunningham on the Joe Cunningham Show yesterday did a really good job covering it. I heard a little Digi, my friend, DJ Digital over there at Hot 107.9 this morning was talking about it. It's a disturbing case. You probably have heard about it by now. If not, disturbing case out of Lafourche Parish, okay? Sparked a lot of outrage, sparked a lot of calls for new laws after this is like disturbing, man. After a middle school girl was targeted with AI generated nude images. Okay. Now deputies say a male student used artificial intelligence to superimpose the girl's face onto explicit photos, now, which were then shared on a school bus, all right? So the victim, humiliated, and denied the chance to call her father, crying for her dad, absolutely a victim. Well, she eventually struck the boy in anger and was expelled. So she's the victim. And it was later in the day when she acted out, when they didn't let her call her dad.
So she told numerous people.
Didn't do anything, was crying for help. No one did anything. This guy's still doing all his stuff. Yeah, she went over there and beat the heck out of him.
And good for her. Should have bloodied him.
So one boy now faces 10 counts for unlawful dissemination of AI-created images. State Representative Brian Fontenot, he says he'll push to make this kind of crime a felony, okay, naming the bill after the victim. All right, so we know the facts. Well, we know it's pretty blatant. The images were shared among students, man, all over the place. The DA... The DA, as of right now, has refused to charge the young lady. So we'll see if that sticks there. I would imagine he wouldn't, but, there are people that will push that. Again, boy faces a lot of trouble. 10 counts, man. And the school board is defending its handling of the case, citing confidentiality laws. We'll talk about this and a little bit more when we get back. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on rumble.com. Let me see you over there at rumble.com. Come on now. And shout out to our viewing audience at KLFY Plus. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Who we going to? Warren. What's up, Warren?
Hey, Josh, they got a new movie coming out. Newmanburg. What have I been hollering for years? Newmanburg Code.
You have.
I want the people to watch this so the people can see the difference. They call Trump and the Republicans Nazis. Look, these people are far worse than Nazis. The Nazis did not even experiment on their own people, but our government did.
Democrats.
The sheriff in New Orleans over there is in trouble because she didn't do her paperwork, and she's blaming it on her attorney who's in jail for, I don't know, pedophilia or something crazy. And then the city of New Orleans is $160 million short. You know how Obama used to say that's how white folks will do you? Hey, that's how those folks in New Orleans will do you. They'll steal the money and then ask you for more, and they don't even want to give accounting. It's time for a bunch of people to go to prison, Josh. Thank you.
All right, Warren.
Goes from Nuremberg to New Orleans financial woes in 30 seconds, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall President Obama saying that, but yeah, hey, look, someone has said it.
Warren said it.
Warren said it for sure. All right, let's go to Justin. What's up, buddy?
Hey, y'all, real quick, y'all were talking about that girl in Lafourche.
Yeah, sad.
A part that people are leaving out is they saying that they handled the situation great. What if she would have just went home and put a bullet in her head?
Ooh, man.
How would they feel then?
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's a great point, and it's sad and tragic point, but it's not
reality.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's not something that's outside the norm. Like you should be like a reasonable person would agree with you, in my opinion, because like that's severe. Hey, thanks, Justin. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, they're only able to have this luxury of defending their position because these guys are fighting back, you know, and fighting for truth. That should be the theme of the day, truth. You know, what's really sad is, so the school expels her, okay? School expels her. Got it. The parents, dad at least, appeals to the school board. Mm-hmm. The school board hears an evidentiary hearing or whatnot, here's everybody's side, you would assume, and upholds the expulsion. And they let her go back to school, but she can't do any kind of extracurricular activities. She can't do any, like, participate. I mean, it's crazy, man.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous that once again, we have the elites in their ivory tower preaching to us peasants that they, this time in education, know more than we parents do. Oh, no. When that little girl was crying, man, she was a victim. You should have immediately called the parents. Who the heck are you?
That's assault.
Who the heck are you, arrogance? You know? Poor little victim right there, crying for her dad. Crying for her dad.
Boy, if I were her dad, boy is lucky he got to her first.
So let's switch gears, okay? So the IOC, heard of those guys? That's the
Olympic folk?
Yeah, the International Olympic Committee. Well, they're reportedly preparing to ban all men who identify as women from competing in female Olympic events. Let me say it differently. They've decided to only allow women to participate in women's sports. They are not allowing men to participate in women's sports. That's how it should have read, but that's okay.
That's how it should have always been.
For sure. So the Times of London says the IOC's scientific study confirmed, it's hard to read some of this stuff. They confirmed that biological males, well, guys, It turns out the study shows that they retain clear physical advantages. Oh. But the committee also said this. Do you know they're stronger even after transition? They still remain stronger than women? The men, can you believe that?
You know, it brings me right back to something Warren said.
What's up?
We're talking about, fascist this, fascist that. The only ones experimenting on humans in this country are liberals. Playing with hormones, literally doing experiments on children. But, we're the fascists.
The pro-government folks is what we call
We're the Nazis.
Pro-government folks. So, all these findings were presented by IOC Medical Director Dr. Jane Thornton.
They took a doctor. Good.
In a closed-door meeting. And new rules could take effect before the 2028 Los Angeles Games. If you remember in the 2024 Games, that boxer from Turkey... You know, that male from Turkey of all places.
Lady was like, no thanks, I'll pass.
Well, but how about the ladies before her? I mean, some of those hits they were taking like direct, man, that's a grown man hitting women. Turkey, you feel good about that, Turkey? Is that like get your thrills?
They had that one sharpshooter.
You fired up now? Yeah, they did. Boy.
He's just casual.
Boy, he was from Turkey? He was from Turkey? Oh, that dude was like straight up, man.
We think he's from Turkey. We don't know.
He identifies as a Turkey guy. A Turk? Is that what he's saying?
A Turk.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for sticking around, joining us on this discussion. You are what makes this show fantastic. All right, be careful out there. May God bless you.